There's a lot to love about the classic series of Thomas and Friends. The beautiful set design, the amazing score, fantastic direction, but in my case, I love the characters. There's such a wide range of characters in the classic series of Thomas and Friends. You would think it would be impossible to rank them. And you're right, but I'm going to attempt it. I am going to attempt a ranking video of every character from Thomas and Friends with a couple of exceptions. First exception, no human characters. I've stated before that I didn't watch Thomas and Friends for the human characters. I watched them for the engines, the road vehicles, basically everything that wasn't a human. Which means that drivers and firemen, Fat Controller and the Hat family, they will all be excluded. Otherwise we really would be here all day. Number 2, characters that don't have speaking parts will not be included. Sadly this means characters like Thumper, Bertram, Tiger Moth, and others that have not had a speaking part in the classic series 1 to 7 will also not be included on this list. Again, it's my list, sorry. So what does that take the tally to? That takes the tally to 68 characters that I will be ranking in this video. No small feat. Once again, these are my own personal opinions, and your list will be different from mine. That's one thing that makes the Thomas fandom so unique. And let me know in the comments what your favourite character from the classic series is. All I ask is that you be respectful, and above all, enjoy the video. Okay, let's dive in. Number 68, Patrick. Honestly can't think of anything to say about this character. Had to do a double Google search just to make sure that he was on the list. That shows you why he's at the bottom. Number 67, Buster. He's a cookie cutter George the Steamroller. Only reason he's on is because he had dialogue, and he was involved in Tortoise in the Hare. Number 66, Nelson. I like his design. Number 65, BYRON. Again, I don't really have much to say about him. He's just in more episodes and does more. That's why he's a bit higher up. Number 64, Monty. He only appeared in the spin-off series as a result of Max being so popular and probably to sell more toys. Number 63, Caroline. Speaking of characters that don't contribute too much, and she's also the biggest stereotype of how female characters were portrayed in the early days. Number 62, Henrietta. Has no involvement aside from being Toby's coach. Probably why she outranks Caroline by one spot. Number 61, Annie and Clarabelle. Same as Caroline and Henrietta, but there's 2 of them and they're Thomas's coaches, so they're pretty well known. Number 60, Ned. Involved in more stories, but such a dumbass. Number 59, Oliver from Jack in the Pack. He's alright. Number 58, Isabella. I like her design, and she's got a good standalone episode. They just didn't do much with her. Number 57, Kelly. Design was good, had a good standalone episode, is involved in a bit more of the Jack in the Pack series. I did think that Kelly was a girl at first, so I was quite disappointed when it was a guy. We needed more female characters. Number 56, Max. He made such a good first impression that they had to give him a brother. Fair dues. Number 55, Splatter and Dodge. Okay, here we go. They could essentially have been the one character. That's why they're called Splodge. They're just your typical bumbling henchmen. Number 54, Old Slow Coach. I love her restoration episodes. I love her design. She was part of a great series of Thomas and Friends. Number 53, Bulstrode. Only part of one episode in season 4, but they make plenty of merchandise around him, and he's even survived into the dreaded reboot. So they must see something in him. Number 52, Lady. Would honestly be further down on this list if it wasn't voiced by the great Britt Allcroft herself. Number 51, Alfie. He saved kittens. Definitely deserves to be high up on the list for that point. Number 50, Jack. The sole reason the spin-off Jack and the Sodor Construction Company was created. If those 2 episodes hadn't done well, there wouldn't have been a series. Number 49, Smudger. A character that's not used much and we don't see again after the 4th season, but teaches a valuable life lesson for then Stuart and Falcon. Number 48, Spiteful Brakeman. If we didn't have the Spiteful Brakeman, we potentially wouldn't have Douglas. That's his only contribution. Number 47, the Horrid Lorries. Great antagonists in that series 5 episode. I just think there was so much potential with the Horrid Lorries. I would love to see more done with them. Number 46, SC Ruffy, otherwise known as Scruffy. Great leader. When he got ripped apart, I was cheering and gave Oliver the Great Western Engine a real run for his money. Number 45, Derek. I like this Diesel's design. I like that he had a legitimate problem that happened to diesels of his ilk. I just wish he was used more. Number 44, D40, otherwise known as Class 40. Only in one episode, but bowled out is such a banger. Brilliant character, great antagonist, top marks. Number 43, Fergus. Great design, love his livery, has some good episodes, but his catchphrase, do it right, really annoys me. Number 42, Ari and Bert. Much better henchmen than Splodge, and can actually get one up on the steam engines if they put their minds to it, what little they have. Number 41, Emily. If counting the whole series, she would be higher on the list, but for just series 1 to 7, she was only in a few episodes, but her character was well established and her design was great. Number 40, Arthur. Beautiful red tank engine, a design we hadn't really seen before. I love his personality. Again, I just wish more was done with him. Number 39, Harvey. Different is what makes you special. Harvey is definitely special, and made me feel special at times when I didn't. Again, I just wish they'd done more with him. I also preferred his Series 7 voice compared to his Series 6 voice. Number 38, Daisy. While still not great in terms of female characters of the classic series, she certainly made her mark, even though she has makeup like a hooker. Number 37, MURDOCH. A big strong engine that could give Gordon a run for his money. He's a gentle giant, and he just wants some peace and quiet. But I prefer his book adaptation of his origin story than the Series 7 one. Number 36, the Troublesome Trucks. Whenever there's an exciting incident, the Troublesome Trucks are usually the ones that cause it. Half the time, I think they've got a death wish, but they're just so dang happy when they do it. Lovable mugs. Number 35, Spencer. Based on the beautiful Mallard, a fantastic silver livery, a real rival to Gordon, and made a big impact with very limited screen time. Number 34, Bulgy. Free the roads, ya boo stubs. That's Bulgy in a nutshell. Although I did like his Season 7 redemption at the end where he got turned into a fruit stand. He had nice livery. Number 33, Stepney. Based on the real life engine of the same name, had some great stories, although they did have to fudge his origin story in the classic series rather than from the Railway series. That's why he's lower on the list. Number 32, George. This road rebel just has a place in my heart. He's an agent of chaos and pure evil. He's awesome. Number 31, Elizabeth. Great example of a female character here. She's got flaws, she has character development, and I would have loved to have seen even more done with her. So much potential that was squandered. Number 30, Terence the Traction Engine. The original It's Okay to Be Different character. No can't stop him, he doesn't need rails, and he saved Thomas when he was still in full prick mode. Number 29, Bill and Ben. Speaking of pricks, good characters in Season 2 and Season 3. After that they became annoying as hell. Number 28, Salty. The dockyard diesel that's the pride of the 7 Seas. Happy-go-lucky attitude, not afraid to call engines out when they're acting like dumbasses. He's a grafter, and he eventually develops a love-hate relationship with another character that will soon appear on this list. Number 27, Rusty. He's the little diesel that could. Instrumental in bringing Stepney to the Fat Controllers Railway, at least in classic series continuity, and makes big improvements to the Scarloway Railway, both on the outside and the inside. Number 26, Trevor the Traction Engine. The very first character to be saved from scrap. Mild-mannered, helpful, useful, but can be seen in a bit of a dodgy light for the fact that he likes children, at least in today's society. Number 25, Toad the Brake Van. Busy going backwards is a blinding episode. Has one of the best chase scenes in all of classic Thomas and Friends, and Toad was at the forefront. Not just a simple brake van, but a well-rounded, fully developed character. Number 24, Mavis. She doesn't look like a hooker like she does in the Railway series, so good job. Goes through roughly the same arc as Daisy, but she's built upon as the series progresses. Number 23, Diesel. The original, maniacal, devious Diesel. Scheming, manipulative, a character you love to hate. But by the end they were turning him into a joke, and I did not like that. Number 22, RHENEAS. Scarloway and RHENEAS are like tea and tea cakes. You can't have one without the other, but one is better. Sadly, RHENEAS is the weaker one. He doesn't really do as much as Scarloway does, but I still think he's a brilliant narrow gauge engine. Number 21, Harold. The stuck up whirly bird thing that literally looks down on the engines from the sky. Great character, nice snooty personality, and has a great love-hate relationship with Percy. Love the dynamic. Cheerio. Number 20, James. You're probably expecting him higher up on the list, weren't you? I think he's a prick. You'll find out when I do a video on him soon. Number 19, Duncan. He's basically James but in narrow gauge form, but you still get good stories out of him, even though he's a prick. Number 18, Thomas. Watch my Thomas is a ball bag video and you'll figure out why he's number 18 on the list. Number 17, Sir Handel. Sir Handel is the Thomas of the narrow gauge engines. Number 16, Peter Sam. Lovely narrow gauge engine, proof that different is what makes you special by his Giesel funnel, and he's just awesome. Number 15, Diesel 10. Such a great pantomime villain. It's totally understandable why they cut PT Boomer out the Magic Railroad and made Diesel 10 the central villain. He stole the show. He was so much better, and I like him in this movie and not calling all engines. Number 14, Gordon. Has layers to his character but eventually just becomes old grumpy Gordon. I didn't like that. Number 13, Henry. Has more of a character arc but eventually just becomes old grumpy scared Henry. I don't like that. Number 12, Boko. Boko reminds me of my papa. Gentle giant but not afraid to kick your ass if you need it. Probably why I think Bill and Ben are such little shits, because that's what me and my brother were like, and my papa was Boko. He kept us in line. Number 11, Oliver. Oliver has resource and sagacity. He also had a really good character arc, and he's got a great double act with Toad the Brake Van. Great character, one of the best stories in Escape, and so glad that he was saved from scrap. Number 10, Cranky. Has that love-hate relationship with Salty the Dockyard Diesel, as I mentioned previously. Is one of the best original characters created for the Thomas and Friends series, period. Like Harold, he literally looks down on high on all the engines, calling them little bugs on occasion, but at the end of the day, he just wants to do a good job. Cranky but lovable. Number 9, Bertie. The first bus that we ever met on the island of Sodor, has a cheeky best friends relationship with Thomas, brings out the worst and the best in Thomas, and his incidental music is an absolute banger. Great bus, great character, great job. Number 8, Scar Lowy. Scar Lowy's great for two reasons. Proves little engines can do amazing things, doesn't let age define what he can and cannot do. A great example for kids and adults alike. Number 7, Donald. You may be surprised that I'm splitting up the Scottish twins, but in terms of Donald, he doesn't have as much going for him as Douglas. Sure, he has the accident with the signal, and eventually befriends the duck in the steam engine and literal sense, and is a great character, but there's one specific reason why the next entry tops him. Number 6, Douglas. Douglas saved Oliver and Toad from scrap. Had to overcome a challenge because of the spiteful brake van and the fact that the Fat Controller wasn't a great fan of Douglas in the first place, to eventually become an integral part of the island of Sodor and the Little Western Gang. Douglas, you rule. Number 5, Toby. I cannot say enough good things about Toby, which is why I'm going to ask you to refer to the Unlucky Tugs video about Toby on his Sodor's Finest playlist. He puts it into words much better than I ever could. Number 4, Duke. The narrow gauge engine that was buried alive for about 5 decades after his line closed down, and then they found him and he's back running on the Scarlowy Railway. A great character, doesn't take any shit from anybody, but I am so annoyed that they did not use him any further than Series 4. Here's to you, Grandpuff. We salute you. Number 3, Duck. There were two ways of doing things. The Great Western Way or the wrong way. The original Little Western, and still the best. The unofficial voice, the voiceless, stands up for the little guy, is not afraid to call the big engines out when they act like dumbasses. Again, watch the Unlucky Tugs video on Sodor's Finest for even more great information on Duck, but he's just fantastic. Number 2, Edward. The original engine that started all of this. Not Thomas, but Edward. If Christopher Audrey didn't get measles, and his dad had to make up a story about an engine called Edward, we would not have any of this going forward. He's wise, caring, kind, tough, determined. Again, Unlucky Tug, Sodor's Finest, get it watched. And the number 1 engine, Percy. You guys should have seen this coming. My channel art is literally based on his design. Always been my favourite engine, especially from his backstory of how the character came to be, his personality, how he evolves and grows over the classic era. He's touched the hearts of many a child and adult, including myself, and I know that I'm repeating myself, but watch the Unlucky Tugs Sodor's Finest video of Percy. That's 68 characters from the classic series of Thomas and Friends, ranked by my own opinion. What's your favourite character in the classic series? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep on jugging.